Let's go ahead and take a look at another method of applying color correction. Let's select that second image of the wagon that we liked the background better, but we thought the image was too dark. I'm going to double click on it. Again, it's going to open into Photoshop. I can go ahead and collapse my mini bridge. And I'm going to double click on my hand to resize my image to fit it in my window here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate my image, since what I'm going to do now with my color correction is a destructive edit, and I'm going to let Photoshop make some decisions for me. So if I do Command J, that will create a new layer for me named Layer 1, and my destructive edit will be applied to this layer. You can do Control J on Windows and get the same effect. Okay, so what we're going to try now is we're going to click on Image on our menu, and we have some options here for auto. You'll notice too we have adjustments. These adjustments, many of them are duplicated on the adjustments panel. We've been using the adjustments panel again because that's a non-destructive edit, whereas if you apply any of the adjustments from the image menu, these will be destructive edits. But let's go ahead and select auto tone and see what Photoshop does to it. I believe it actually made it darker. Let me hit my visibility icon, turn it on and off. It does look a little richer, and it brings out more of those rich tones. Let me go ahead and open my histogram and refresh it. And you see that again, we've got a large area that on the left-hand side, all the dark tones are there because of that large area of white in my histogram. Let me turn off my visibility icon, go down to my background layer, and let's refresh the histogram. And here we can see that the original image had that gap like we saw in our previous example where we went into our levels and we removed that gap. So what Photoshop did on our layer 1 in our layers panel was it applied that levels for us automatically and removed that gap on the left hand side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and collapse that, and let's go back up to image, and now let's try auto contrast. And you can see barely anything happened, if anything. I'm going to go ahead and do an undo, Command Z, then I'm going to redo it. And you can see that Photoshop felt that there really wasn't any contrast that could be improved automatically through its features. And now let's go ahead and try the auto color and see if it makes any changes to that. And here we can see it actually toned down the image a little bit more. It muted out the colors, and we lost some of those rich tones that were in the original wagon. Again, if I hide my visibility icon on layer 1 and let the original shine through, actually does have richer tones to it, and it has a better depth of contrast in the image. Whereas my layer 1, you can see how washed out this image appears, and it kind of looks flat because the colors are kind of muted. Okay, let's go ahead and do a file save. And again, we want to go back to that chapter 9. We are going to make this the JPEG, and I'm going to click save and OK. And now I can close this, and I can say don't save. Let me go to mini bridge to jump back to bridge. And now we can see I have another copy of my new image. And again, we can see the dramatic difference that has been made between the two images. Using the auto features under image in Photoshop are destructive edits, but if you feel more comfortable allowing Photoshop to make the decisions for you, you can certainly try those. And I would always suggest making a duplicate layer first because it is a destructive edit, and applying those to the new layer so that if you do change your mind, you can always delete that layer and start over.